Now, let us explain again what we did in the previous session. So in the previous session, we were able to finish setting up our copilot and our copilot and agentic AI, and we're able to create a very fast a very fast file. So I would like to show you how we shall be executing these files, and then we come back to the explanation of the files itself. So to execute a file, first of all, you have to determine where your project is. So my project is on desktop, so I'll just simply go to my desktop, which is here, and then I go to course projects, okay, and then I go to HTML, and then I'll be able to see this first HTML. So I can open it with a browser. You just right click and say open it with, and then select a browser. It can be a Google Chrome, something like that. So if I open it, I should be able to see my first code, which is saying hello world. This is my first HTML page. So that's how we shall be running our projects or our files. All right, so with that much said, now let's go back. So you can just simply remove everything that is before your project folder, and then remain with the project folder itself, and then click on it. When you press enter, you'll be able to see your folders in your folder structure in the browser, and then you can be able to browse up to the file that you exactly want, which is this one, right? So that is how you can test your things. Okay, so with that much said, so let's resume our business. Now, we shall let's first explain, because I said that we shall be using agentic AI to generate for us what we need, and then we go ahead and explain it. Okay, so this is our very first file, which just has basics of HTML structure. Now, let's go ahead and explain. So what we have done here, we've just created an HTML structure. So the use of HTML, of course, is to present data that is understandable by the browser, so it can be able to display it in the browser. So HTML must have a certain criteria that it follows, and that's what we call the syntax. But I say that by the use of AI, we shall not need to memorize the syntax in our head, but we shall need just to know that there is certain syntax that must be followed of HTML, and we just be familiar with it. That's all we need, right? And just understanding how things must be arranged, right? So let me go ahead and explain this structure. So as AI says here, we have a doc type which declares the HTML5 document. So this first tag, it declares that the browser should execute this while knowing that it's a HTML file, HTML5, which is the latest HTML version. And then we have the HTML tag, which we call this one a root element, right? So this root element, HTML tags, it will surround the entire project of ours. So you see it is just a less than sign, then HTML, and then it close it, and then you come and close it to this side. So in simple terms, if I delete everything here, I'll remain with that with HTML tag. And then we have the head. We now have the head. So this head, it contains what is about the project. So what you see here in the head, it cannot even be displayed in the browser, and this basically contains what is in the project. And then here we can have, for example, metadata. For example, this shows that our characters being coded using UTF-8, and then the viewpoint makes the website responsive, and then the page title, which is this one here, it's a tag of a title. It is the one that is being displayed here. In fact, if I go to the browser, and this one here is what we have as a HTML title. This one here, right? It is the one that's being displayed here. And then here we have the title, which will be this. So it means that when we want to present the main title of the page, we shall always pass it here, and that's what will be displayed in here. Now we have the body. All right, so we have basically two sections in the HTML document to have the header and the body. So header is just contain things that are about the project, about the page, and then the body, it's the one that is containing now the real content about that is in the page. So you can see here, body contains visible content that is in the page, and then you have h1 tag. H1 tag, this represents a heading, right? Like a heading of main title of the page, or the heading of that particular page. And then the p tag, we shall come to these ones. It presents different things that we shall to present the paragraph. Sorry, it presents the what? The paragraph. So literally, that is how HTML is structured. That's the basic core HTML, how it is structured. So it means that if we need to understand our HTML document, we need to have this one in our what? In our brains. So we're going to proceed. So I hope you've watched it and you've understood it. So next time we do something, you should be knowing at least what's meant by a body, and what's meant by header, and what's meant by meta tags, and then these components shall come to them later. So we proceed to HTML attributes. So before we proceed, I'm going to ask the AI that it should be organizing our things in a certain order, so that we should be able to know which one we're executing at the moment. So I want this to always like rename the file as 1, 2, 3 like that. Okay, so I'm going to tell, I can do it myself like this. I can just come right click and I rename it as 1. Okay, so I'm going to tell AI to just do that task for me as you're learning how can you do it. So I'm going to come here and I say that I will be saving different topics in different files. Okay, for example, okay, I say in different files, and I am okay, I want files to be named in order with respective of the topic, e.g. 1 then comma then full stop name of file.html, like that. Okay, for example, I rename our very first file as 1, then something like that, and then keep this in mind. So as we proceed, you do the same, something like that, in naming files. All right, so let's execute this command. So it's going to understand what I'm telling it, and then it's going to go ahead and do what I've asked it to do. Let's see. So I go ahead and allow this command, so you can see our file has been renamed. Okay, you can see our file has been renamed. If I come here, you see this is now one basic structure. All right, basic structure, and it has just renamed it. All right, so if we come back here, this file is no longer existing, but if we come to our directory, you can see here our basic structure of HTML. It is there. Okay, so that is the power of agentic AI. It can be able to do for us such kind of things. All right, so let us proceed. So we're going to proceed to basic elements. All right, basic elements. So now I'm going to tell AI that let me open here just a new file, Ctrl-N, and I'll be using it just to write my commands. So I'm going to tell AI to create for us basic HTML. Basic HTML element. Now our next topic is basic HTML element. Basic HTML elements. I want you I want you to design for to create for me the file for this topic, include basic HTML components and with relevant examples and explanations for me to understand easily and very well. So I'm tasking the AI to create for us the next topic document that we're going to use to explain basic HTML components. So I'll just copy that command. After copying that command, and then go ahead and do it and paste it in our chat, and then press enter. So it will process and go ahead and it will go ahead and start doing what? And start creating for us the basic HTML element components. Alright, so we shall wait for a second as it finishes. So it has finished creating for us the basic HTML components. So as you can see here, perfect, I've created this, and then here it has included 11 different topics, the headings and paragraphs and text formatting. So we're going to go through these step by step, right? So what I'll need is just to accept these changes, and then I go ahead and do it and open this file here, which is here. So I'm going to explain these components, so as we proceed you understand what actually these components are. Okay, so you should be knowing in future what they actually do. So let me go ahead and go back and refresh. So you see we have now our second component here. This is just simply our project, right? Okay, or you can just simply come here to a folder and then do what we did the other time. We open it with this. So I go ahead and open that file. I've already shown you how to open the file. So we can see this is our file. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to see how we're going to see how these components have been created, and how we can make how we can make the good use of them. That is the most important part. So let's start from there. I see the video is already too long. Let's start from there in the next lecture.